I am Barrabas. I never thought I'd see the light of day again. The cell was damp, the air was thick with despair. My crimes, murder, rebellion had sealed my fate. I was a dead man walking, waiting for the cross. Then came the uproar. The crowd's chants echoed through the stone walls. Barabbas! Release Barabbas! They cried out. I couldn't believe it. Why would they choose me, a criminal, over this Jesus of Nazareth? I'd heard whispers about him. Whispers that he was a healer, a teacher, a man who claimed to be the Son of God. What had he done to deserve the cross that was meant for me? When the guards dragged me out, I saw him for the first time. His face was bruised. His body was battered and bloody. Yet his eyes were steady, filled with something I couldn't name. Compassion? Forgiveness? It unnerved me. I was the guilty one. Yet he stood silent as the crowd condemned him. As they unshackled me, I hesitated. I wanted to speak. I wanted to ask him why he didn't defend himself. But the words got caught in my throat. And he looked at me right then in that moment. And in that moment, I felt exposed. It was as if he saw every sin, every dark corner of my soul, and he loved me anyway. I stumbled away free but burdened. The cheers of the crowd faded as I wandered the streets, haunted by his gaze. Why had he taken my place? Why had he taken my place on the cross? What kind of man does that? In the days following my release, I could not escape this gnawing unease within inside myself. Freedom was supposed to be exhilarating, but it felt like a burden, like a second chance that I didn't deserve. My name was chanted as if I were a hero, yet I knew better. I was no savior, no martyr. I was a man who took and destroyed. And now, I couldn't stop thinking about the man who gave everything for me. Days turned into weeks, and I couldn't shake the memory of him. I heard rumors of his resurrection, of his followers spreading his teachings. Against my better judgment, I sought them out, and they spoke of grace, of redemption, of a love so profound that it defied understanding. One of them, Peter, told me about the resurrection. My heart fought against it. How could a dead man live again? But Peter's eyes burned with conviction. He lives, he said. And he died for you as much as for me. For me, those words hit like a sledgehammer right between my eyes. All my life, I had been defined by my anger, my rebellion, my hate. Could it really be true that a man who preached love had chosen to take my place? A place he did not deserve. I didn't believe it at first. No man could endure such cruelty and still speak of love. And yet, something in me needed to know. I sought out his followers, wary of how they would react to me. Would they see me as the undeserving man who walked free, while their teacher, their leader, suffered? But when I found them, they spoke to me with kindness, as if they had inherited his grace. At first, I told myself to move on. The Romans would forget my name eventually, and I could slip back into obscurity. But wherever I went, I heard whispers of him, whispers of Jesus. People talked of miracles, of blind men who could now see, of the lepers now made whole. And then there were the stories of his death, the way he forgave even as they nailed him to the cross. The change didn't come overnight. It was slow, very slow, like the dawning of a new day. I stopped looking over my shoulder. I stopped hiding in the shadows. I began helping others, feeding the hungry, clothing the poor, and in the quiet of my heart, I spoke to him. I didn't know if he could hear me, but I prayed. Thank you. I'll try to make this life worthy of what you gave. Now, when people ask about the scars on my wrist, I tell them the truth. I tell them about the chains that once bound me and the man who broke them, not with force, but with love. And though I'll never fully understand why he chose to die for me, I know this. Because of him, Barrabas the criminal became Barrabas the redeemed. The anger that had fueled my rebellion gave way to something else. Hope. I started to believe that if Jesus could forgive me, maybe, just maybe, I could forgive myself. I began to live not as the man I was, but as the man that he saw in me. I'll never understand why he chose to die in my place, but I'll spend the rest of my days trying to honor the life that he gave me. I am Barrabas, and Jesus died for me. Be the family warrior that God has called you to be. I'm Robin Miller. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, and share. God bless, and happy Easter.